7, we are solving a word problem using a quadratic equation. So it's going to end up that we have a squared term in our problem. But what we're going to do is just going to translate it. It says the length of my rectangle is 5 yards more than twice the width. The length is 5 yards more. I am adding 5 than twice the width to 2 W's. The length is 5 yards more than twice the width. The area of my rectangle, area is length times width. The area of my rectangle is 63. 63 is going to be equal to, we're going to put 2W plus 5 in for our length, times our width then. So we're solving the equation. It has parentheses. We want to get rid of the parentheses. 63 is equal to 2W squared plus 5W, using my distributive property, right? 2W times W is 2W squared. 5 times W is 5W. I've got a quadratic expression. I need to set it equal to 0 so I can solve by factoring, which means this is a positive 63. I'm going to make it a minus 63 to move it over to the other side. So 0 is equal to 2W squared plus 5W minus 63. I'm going to solve that by factoring. So 2W squared, 2W and W. My signs, the end is a negative. I know one's a plus and one's a minus. I don't know which way. I'm just going to guess, and if I need to switch them, I will. Factors of 63, probably 9 times 7. I want to get a 5. So if I put the 7 here and the 9 here, I'm going to get negative 14 plus 9. Negative 14 plus 9 is negative 5. That means my signs are backwards. 2W minus 9 and W plus 7. That's really sloppy. Let me rewrite that. So we said 2W minus 9 and W plus 7. That's going to give me 14 minus 9, which is 5. So I've got it factored correctly. Now if I solve this one here, W is going to equal negative 7. I can't have a negative width, right? The width of my rectangle can't be negative 7. So I'm just going to do this one here. 2W is going to equal 9, because I've got to add my 9 to move it over, and then divide by 2. My width is 9/2, but when we do the width of a rectangle, we usually don't put it in as a fraction. 9/2, if I change it to a decimal, would be 4.5, right? 9 divided by 2, 4.5. So I found my width. I need my length. I'm going to put my 4.5 in here. 2 times 4.5 is 9. 9 plus 5 is 14. So my width is 4.5. My length is 14. All right, number 8 says the length of the rectangle is 5 meters less than twice the width. The area of my rectangle is 33 meters squared. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. So just like on the previous one, we want to write the length in terms of the width. The length of my rectangle is 5 meters less than twice my width. So the length is 5 meters less. So we're going to subtract 5 from twice the width. So the length is equal to 2W minus 5. Keep in mind that if it's 5 less, I'm going to put the minus 5 on the end. It says the area is 33 meters squared. Area is length times width. So 33 is equal to, we're going to put this expression in for the length. So 2W minus 5 times W. We're then going to go ahead and use our distributive property. So 33 is equal to 2W times W, 2W squared, and minus 5 times W, minus 5W. We have a quadratic expression, one with the squared term. We need to set it equal to 0. we got to move our 33 to the other side. And since it's a positive 33, we're going to make it a minus 33. So 0 is equal to 2w squared minus 5w minus 33. And we solve by factoring. Factors of 2w squared, 2w, and w. The end is negative, so I know I'm going to have one plus and one minus. I don't know which order. I'm just going to guess and check. Factors of 33, probably 3 and 11. If I plug those in, if I put my 3 there and my 11 there, got my signs backwards, I'm going to have negative 6 plus 11, which is a positive 5. So I've got to switch my signs around. This is going to be 2w minus 11. This is going to be w plus 3. So 6w minus 11w is negative 5w. Again, remember the one with the plus sign. When you solve that, if w plus 3 equals 0, you have to minus the 3. W equals negative 3. We can't have a negative width. So we're only going to be able to solve the one with the minus sign. 2w minus 11 equals 0. We add our 11. 2w equals 11. And then, of course, dividing by 2. Also keep in mind, since we're working with a rectangle, we're not going to use the fraction like we normally do. We're going to divide that. 11 divided by 2 is 5.5, 5.5. So my width is going to be 5.5. I'm going to find my length by using this very first equation we set up. The length is equal to 2 times 5.5 minus 5. Well, 2 times 5.5 would be 11. 11 minus 5 would be 6. And I forgot to remind you on the previous one, but if you wanted to check your answer, you would want to find if the area is 33. We can find the area by taking the length times the width. If I take 6 times 5.5, sure enough, I get an area of 33. So a quick, easy way to check your answer once you get your length and your width, multiply them together, see if you do get that area. We do. Number 9 then, the area of my rectangle is 42 yards squared. The length of the rectangle is 11 yards less than 3 times the width. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. So again, we have the area. We know area is length times width. Then we can rewrite the length in terms of the width because it says the length of my rectangle is 11 yards less, so minus 11, than 3 times the width, 3w. So the length is 3w minus 11, 11 yards less than 3 times the width. So again, we can substitute in. 42 is the area, 3w minus 11 is my length, and I'm going to take that times my width. So again, using my distributive property, 3w times w is 3w squared, negative 11 times w, negative 11w. And again, we're working with a quadratic expression. We need to have it equal to 0, so we're going to move our 42 to the other side. And then we can solve by factoring. 3w and w. The end is negative, a plus and a minus. I may have to switch those. Factors of 42, probably 7 and 6. We'll try that pair. If I have to switch it, I will. If I put my 6 here and my 7 here, I'm going to get negative 18 plus 7. A negative 18 plus a 7 is negative 11. Again, keeping in mind the one with the plus sign, when you try to solve that one, I have to minus my 7. So 3w is going to equal negative 7 and divide by 3. W equals negative 7/3. Well, I can't have that negative answer. My width can't be negative. So the only one I'm going to be able to solve is the one with the minus sign in there. W minus 6 equals 0. I add my 6. And so my width is 6 on this one. My width is 6. I still need to find my length. To find my length, I go up to this expression here. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 minus 11 gives me 7. And again, if I know my area is 42, I should be able to take my length times my width and get 42. Sure enough, I can.